Now we are going to see the origins of Zoroastrianism, because most of us might be aware, but let's revise, even if those who know what is Zoroastrianism. So basically, there is something called Indo-European pantheon. Remember, there is some Indo-European pantheon of deities. So there is Indo-European pantheon, then there is Indo-Iranian pantheon. Hmm. And then there are some similar deities between Vedic and Zoroastrian cultures, and or we can say divinities. So, and this is we can't say that all these deities are same. There are some deities which are present in Rig Veda, but are absent in Avesta, but again are present in Indo-European pantheon, like Jupiter or Zeus Pater, so, or Deus, Jupiter. So these are the sky god. So this concept is present uh, in Vedic culture and Zoroastrian culture, but it is absent in uh, uh, Avestan or Zoroastrian culture. It is present in Vedic as well as in Indo-European. Might be these deities were present earlier and we might have lost them. That is possibility. But here are some Indo-Iranian pantheon of deities. And what I have written in the beginning, it is the Indo-Iranian name mostly, and then there is Vedic name and Avestan name. So the first is Rita, and we called it like Asha, yat Ashaya Vaishtaya Ashem. So this Asha is Rita. It means righteousness. Basically, it is righteousness or truth. So Rita, Rito. Uh, Madan Joshi is asking whether we will get the presentation. Yeah, sure. You can send it and share it. So Rita is basically Ruta and Asha. So, and how this Ruta and Asha, we don't find any phonetic similarity between Ruta and Asha. But basically, Ruta, truth, and Asha have the common origin. It is Ruta, Ruta, and Rto is Indo-European origin. Rto becomes Artha, and Artha becomes Asha, and Artha becomes Ruta. So Artha is also a connecting word. Then another is uh, Sahuma. Sahuma. Sahuma is basically in Vedic Soma, and in Avestan it is Hauma. And now what is this Soma or Hauma? What exactly Soma means, which is used in sacrificial rituals in Vedic culture, and it is also used in uh, Zoroastrian worship, Zoroastrian Yasna and Vedic Yajna. So it is used. So what is it? It is basically ephedra, a kind of ephedra, because in Iranian Zoroastrianism and traditional in Zoroastrianism, that ephedra was commonly used in um, uh, uh, in this. Actually, there are this all these sticks are there. So in Iran, we still find ephedra. So this hauma is available in Iran, and it grows on hills. So nothing very exclusive and all. I guess that there is some chemical in that which is called ephedrine. So what ephedrine does, so it creates a kind of alertness, excitement. It is not that kind of narcotic, because see, addictive substances or narcotic substances might have different effects. So there are, for example, if you are you are drinking coffee, it contains caffeine. So caffeine creates some kind of excitement. If you have uh, uh, cannabis indica, cannabis sativa, it might create hallucination. Uh, so all these effects or psychedelic substances have some effect. So it might be having actually it has, basically we know that it has ephedrine, and which creates a effect which creates alertness, and your mind becomes over alert. So it creates something to better connect with the divinity. Then there is a deity. So that deity is Mitra. It is in Indo-Iranian pantheon it is called Mitra. In Vedic it is called Mitra. In Avestan it is called Mithra. So Mithra is, I said that sometimes Tra becomes Thra. So just like Mantra becomes Mantra. Here it is Mitra. Next deity is Bhaga. So Bhaga is the deity which shares what it has with others. So it is regarding sharing. Basically, the deity Mitra, uh, it is actually a deity of contract. So the purpose I forgot to tell. Hauma is basically used in rituals, so it got deitified. But Mitra is a deity of contract, friendship, association, companionship. So all these things comes under the governance of Mitra. So it is god of contract. Then there is Bhaga. So Bhaga is the one who shares. Bhaga, from Bhaga creates Bhaga. So in Vedic it is Bhaga, but in Avestan it is Bhaga. So this Bhaga, it is an interesting word because we find some traces like in Russian, the god is called Bog, and that Bog came from this Bhaga, Avestan Bhaga. So uh, uh, Burger becoming Bog. And if somebody might ask that Burger becoming Bog, is there any similar phonetic transformations happening in other words? There are a lot. Like we know the word Dampati, and Dam means home, and Pati is the owner, so or the one who possesses the house. So Dam becomes Dom in. There is a word Dama in Avestan. So Dama means house, and in Russian it becomes Dom means house. So Dam Dom, it is there. Uh, then there is another important deity which is very interesting. It is Apam Napat in Vedic and Apam Napat in Avestan. There are usually in every prayer in Zoroastrianism there is salutation to this Apam Napat. It is Apam Naptaram Yazamaide, Nairim Sangyam Yazamaide, Takmim Damai Shopamanim Yazatim Yazamaide. So these all multiple deities are saluted, and Yazamaide we will see what formula it is. But it is we worship. So we worship. It is Yazamaide. So we worship this deity. The root is Yaja. So this Apam Napat is very interesting deity. Why I am saying is in Vedic text, what happens in Vedic text, the Apam Napat is basically progeny of water or a grandchild of water. So Napat is equated with Naptru or Natu in Marathi, or in many other Indian languages it is Natu. So it is grandchild of water. And they give us two origins. So one is because of water there are plants, and then because of plants uh, um, because of plants we have fire. So we ignite the fire using plants. So these plants are basically used to create fire. So ultimately the plant is the parent of fire, and the grandparent is water. So that's why it is Apam Napat according to Vedic. Then there is another origin of Apam Napat or form of Apam Napat in Vedic texts. It is basically there are clouds. So clouds have, yeah, Apam is similar to Ab. Basically, Apam or Apas is also there. It is Ap in Avesta also. So it is called Ap, and Ap becomes Ab in modern Persian. So this Apam Napat basically there is another origin of in Rigveda. So Apam Napat is basically the lightning in the sky, because there are clouds with a lot of water in it, and then there is a lightning striking in that watery cloud. So that is also one of its form. But in Avestan, basically, see, these deities, there are exchange within the uh, Avestan and Vedic culture about deities, and some deities lost their meaning, original meaning, till it came to Punjab region. So according to Avesta, it is Apam Napat is actually the fire on water, and Napat, there is a word based on Napat, it is naphtha. So naphtha is a petroleum, petrochemical. So basically, Apam Napas is itself a fire on water. So it is a fire, but which is ignited on water. If you see the region of Azerbaijan, or the region near Caspian Sea, you will see that there are many places where the petroleum or natural gas is leaking from below these lakes, and it is coming on the surface. And if you ignite a fire on the surface of water, it will be it will last there forever, like for decades, because the surface of lake will start burning because there is a constant supply of fuel. For ancient people, this was a divine thing. Like, we use water to extinguish the fire, but here there is a fire on the water. So, but from this Avestan Apam Napat, we find the word this naphtha. So naphtha or naphthalene, all these words are originated from that. So we will just take a few chat and continue the two deities. We'll see the chat. Yeah. So Mithras is also a Greek deity. Yeah. Basically, they are inspired by these Mithras. Basically, both the Mithras are inspired by each other. Not each other, basically the Iranian Mithras, and all these Mithras, they have a lot of symbolism which they have taken from Zoroastrianism. Specifically, uh, mm, in they have also taken some negative aspects of Zoroastrianism, and what Zoroastrians hate the most. Uh, Possibly there was a cult of Mithra present in Iran, and or uh, a different, just like there was a cult of Ahura Mazda, which we called Zoroastrianism. So there was, and it is clear, it is clearly known that there was a cult of another deity of water, which is Ardvisura Anahita. There was a different cult of her, and then there was a different cult of Mithra. But these deities were accepted within Zoroastrianism and made Yazata, or the worthy of worship, uh, uh, Yajani, or whatever we can say, Yazata. Then there is Apam. Yeah, I have talked about it. In Vedas, Apam Napat is a form of Agni, which is a reflection of sun. Really, yeah, because Vedic lost the contact with the petroleum and petrochemical and petroleum region. So that is possible. Aap, water, Nitya Bahuvachanam. Yeah, yeah, always used in exactly Apam Napat. Yeah. So let's get back to this. Then there is a Vayu in Vedas, and here it is a pair deity, something similar to Ashwini Kumar. So there is a pair deity. It is Vayuvat. So it comes as a deity, and Vayuvata is not always good. Sometimes they are mentioned in Avesta as Devas, or they are from the side of Devas, but still they are worthy of worship. So a rare scenario. Another deity is Vrutraghna. So Vrutraghna in Vedas is Veratraghna in Avesta. So Vrutraghna uh, is aspect of Indra. It is because of the story of Vritrasur. And if you don't know the story, it is in short. I'll tell you, very brief. So there was a king called Tvashta, and he had a son Vishwaroop, and the Vishwaroop had what, three heads, and he used to drink soma from one, and all these things. So what happened once these deities were called, there was a sacrificial ceremony. Yajna was there the next day, and these preparations were made, and this Vishwarup drank all the som, and that's why Indra cut his heads. So the Twashta got angry because of his son uh, uh, son getting slayed. So he uh, the remaining soma he added to the fire with the mantra Indra Shatrur Vardhasva, and then there was a this Vritra, which was a being which is without limbs. Now this Vritra is called Ahi, and in similar person is there in Avesta in a very different context. It is called Aji Dahaka. So it is like a dragon. But here in Avesta, this Vritragna is actually just remover of obstacle. This story is basically similar story is there in Avesta, but the Vritragna is basically um, slayer of obstacle. In Veda, what happens? This Vritra he obstructed the water flow in Sapta Sindhu, the region of seven rivers, and then Indra slayed him and made the water free for people or people staying in Sapta Sindhu, and that's why he became Apamnapat. Sorry, not Apamnapat, Apamneta. Apamneta means who is directing the waters, and he also becomes because he killed Vritra, he becomes Vritragna or Vritrahan. So here Varatragna is just remover of obstacle. Mostly it was a different deity present in Indo-Iranian pantheon, but in Vedic culture it got merged with Indra. So this happens sometimes that there are two deities but they get merged and form one deity, or becomes one deity becomes aspect of other deity. So that is very common. So and then there are many other deities. I am not saying that these are the only deities. There are a lot of deities throughout Avesta. These are some samples. Next.